starting this session, I have divided this session into two parts. Part one would be like next 15-20 minutes, we will be understanding, we'll be getting general information about AI in its adoption. And then part two would be more about SAFe and AI and what is it that you can expect in near future. Today's keynote from Andy, he kind of gave you an idea about what you can expect in near future about AI. I do not know how many of you have noticed that, and I'll probably highlight that during this session. Can we go to the next slide, please? Let's look at a couple of quotes. Here's the first quote: AI is the new electricity, from Dr. Andrew Ng. And then there is a next quote from, NVIDIA. Can you go to the next one, please? So Jensen Huang, CEO NVIDIA, says, software is eating the world, but AI is going to eat software. Imagine, late 1800s when electricity left the laboratories and was, made available to every household in New York City. What the people must have gone through. Many of us experience similar kind of feeling in 2022, end of 2022. What happened? ChatGPT was made available to the general public. And who did that? Which company? OpenAI, right. And you know what happened to their CEO in 2023, right? Have you heard the story? Yes, no. So we will be touching on that story as well a little later. Next slide, please. So why there is a need for a responsible AI? Let's go into more details of it. Here is some data for you from the recent past, probably 15 days back. 71% of the organizations are using AI and 22% not using AI, expect to do so in the next 12 months. So 100%, out of 100%, almost 93% are there now, right? Either they are using AI or they plan to use AI in next 12 months. Interestingly, 92% of the AI deployments are taking 12 months or less. Look at the statistics, what it's saying. Initial ROI on AI investment with 14 months, 3.5 times return. Quite an interesting number. 32% of the organizations have reduced an average of 11% of spending on certain business areas to fund AI projects. And organizations using AI experience an 18% increase in customer satisfaction, employee productivity, and market share. In such a short time span, if you look at like last 24 months, by the way, this is where I wanted to ask you that question. When I said like I'm going to ask you a question a little later, do you know ChatGPT's birthday? It's today. 30th November 2022, ChatGPT was made available to the general public. Ask AI, take out your phones and Google it. When was ChatGPT made available to general public? And you will get the date, 30th November 2022. Some of you already started doing that, right? But within 2 years, these are the benefits that we are seeing. This is what we have achieved. And enterprises have started seeing these benefits. Next slide, please. So keep going. AI is revolutionary, and on this slide we have listed some of the incidents or risks that that are associated with it. Keep going. So I'm not going to read each and every point, but I would definitely take a pause here, few seconds, and look at what is mentioned on that slide. Tutoring company, previous slide. Tutoring company, what happened with them and how much they had to pay, or what happened with the attorney, a healthcare AI, self-driving car manufacturer Cruise, what happened with them, or class action lawsuit accuses Google of breaking copyright laws, different areas. And we also might have seen some of the risks associated with AI. We are reading about it every day. And it's not just about the risks that are associated with AI. We are facing many challenges also with AI. So on the next slide, you see the challenges. And some of you might have come across these challenges. Next slide, please. Some of you might have seen these challenges, or even more than that, whatever challenges that we have listed on this slide. By the way, the source for these challenges is McKinsey Guide to Outcompeting in the Age of Digital and AI. They kind of summarized it and entitled it as Rewired. So you can also access it online if at all you are interested. So here are few challenges that they have listed. like, lack of digital talent bench or undeveloped governance systems and risk guardrails. Remember this second one, undeveloped governance systems and risk guardrails. Then unestablished business-led roadmap or challenge in scaling and driving adoption, lack of easily consumable data. And when we are going through these challenges, you might come across more challenges as well. I'm absolutely with you on that one. So what's happening? The fear that all of us had, rest assured, AI won't replace you. However, a person using AI will. And that's the direction in which we have started moving already. Now, let's start our conversation about AI in SAFE. How many of you are SPCs here? Safe Practice Consultants. Many of you. So quickly, a question for all of you. What is it that you are expecting from Scaled Agile when it comes to AI? And do not answer, we expect a certification. We do not want to launch a new certification yet. Anyway, go ahead. Excellent, very well summarized. Thank you for that. Good. Any other expectation from Scaled Agile? Anyone? Sorry? We have already taken a step in that direction. I hope you are aware about Safe Copilot. You're using that, right? I actually asked a question to Safe Copilot. I want to do a session on Safe and AI. What should I talk about? And I gave I got a detailed answer on that one as well. So go ahead. Any other expectation from Scaled Agile? Please. Mm-hmm. Okay. I am not sure whether in near future we would be able to meet that expectation, to be honest with you. But let's see, where or in which direction we go. So what has happened so far? When we start talking about SAFE and AI, we have come up with 3 focus areas with respect to SAFE AI guidance. And now I'm going back to my comment earlier when I said that Andy briefly talked about it today morning. And he said that we are going to revisit the competencies. As of now, SAFE framework has got 7 core competencies. And then Andy listed around 4 competencies on the slide when he was showing it. And the 3rd or 4th bullet point was about AI. Expect to have a new competency around AI on the SAFE framework. The current article that we have on the SAFE framework actually refers to that as a competency. And these are the 3 dimensions of AI competency. It is mentioned in the article, but it is not grouped as a competency on SAFE website yet. But if you read the current AI article, if you click on an AI icon on SAFE website, the article that you will read will talk about AI being a competency. So framework team has already started moving in that direction. And these are the 3 dimensions that we are talking about as part of this competency. AI augmented workforce. Again, AI augmented workforce is going to play a bigger role when it comes to AI enabled solutions and responsible AI. So far, in last 1.5 years, we have talked a lot about responsible AI. And today, I'm going to go beyond that and I'm going to discuss about how that guidance has been integrated into various configurations of SAFE framework. So let's start with, the first dimension, AI augmented workforce. We want to unlock the capabilities of off-the-shelf AI tools. Why do we want to do that? And who is going to do that? AI augmented workforce. They are going to do it so that they can reduce toil, improve quality, fuel innovation, and increase productivity for everyone. That's the first dimension of it. And here are some benefits that you can see with AI augmented workforce. I'm not, again, it's a long list. You can read it for yourself. and we can go into more details of it in subsequent sessions. So what we have done is, to elaborate more on these points, Scaled Agile has launched a series of webinars. There are 4 webinars that are happening around AI and SAFe as I'm talking to you. So a couple of webinars have already happened in last month. There is one happening today, and some of the contents that I'm going to share with you today are going to get discussed again later at the end of the day with a different audience. And there is one webinar about AI tools and its usage, the question that the point that you mentioned, that's coming up in the next week. So we are covering all that guidance, what you talked about or what you asked for, as part of these series of webinars. And I'm actually talking about the contents of the 3rd webinar today with all of you. So here are some of the benefits that AI augmented workforce can get. Then the second dimension is AI enabled solution. Now, to build, operate and scale AI enabled solution, we need people, we need processes, and we also need technology. Now, does it mean that with the introduction of AI, we are going to get rid of the existing workforce? Answer is definitely no. So leveraging existing roles, whatever roles that we have in SAFe organization, how can we leverage those existing roles and increase the productivity of those roles with the help of AI? That's one aspect of it. Second aspect is, what is the new knowledge required to be part of SAFe teams, or new skill sets required to be part of SAFe teams? Either you upskill the workforce or you hire new people having those skill sets. So we are talking about building an AI talent bench. That's the first part of it. We are talking about AI enabled people. It starts with a dedicated team of people having AI skill sets. Eventually these people get spread out and they are part of your agile release trains. And then you can have distributed team members across various teams. So organizing and evolving around AI is something that we are talking about. Then the second part, after AI enabled people, we are talking about AI enabled processes. So again, the same point. We already have processes in the form of DevOps, continuous delivery pipeline, agile product delivery as a competency well established within a SAFe organization. Do we disrupt that? Answer is no. We continue with it. But what we do is, we develop essential AI practices along with already established practices. So we are talking about ML ops, model ops, data ops, AI ops, FM ops, all of it. Then what is the AI solution path? That's also something that we have defined on the SAFe website, and it's available to you as a guidance as of today. And the last part is AI enabled technology. Do not look at this slide or do not take a picture of this slide. This slide is old. This is like 3 weeks back. So 3 weeks in AI world today is like a long time period. A lot has changed in last 3 weeks. So do not take a picture of this slide, right? So we are not talking much about AI enabled technology right now. As this field evolves and we get more understanding of how things are shaping up in this area, we will be adding guidance into the SAFe framework around this area. So we talked about various things, and I'm going back to that. AI enabled technology, AI enabled processes, and AI enabled people. That was the second dimension. Now let's look at the third dimension. And the third dimension is responsible AI. We talked about the risks that are associated with AI. I showed you some of the risks associated, the challenges that are associated. What is it that we are doing about it? And what is the guidance that is available? We at Scaled Agile looked at these, various, I would say, organizations or industries. Even we talked about, I'm talking about tech companies, we are talking about research and consulting organizations, and we wanted to understand what is their stand on responsible AI. If I ask you a question about usage of AI and how comfortable are you today about using AI tools, some of you would say that I am still doubtful. I am not very comfortable because I have a fear that my data would be compromised, right? And in addition to that, there would be many other risks that are associated with AI, usage of AI. Now, how do we introduce responsible AI within an organization? There are three scenarios that are emerging. As an organization, you are buying off-the-shelf tools and using them as is. So you are working with supplier. You are buying off-the-shelf tools and then modifying it for your usage within the organization. And the third scenario is you are developing your own tools. With me so far? Now, in all these scenarios, what is the guidance that is available? How do we move towards responsible AI and make sure that it is compliant to government regulations? By the way, governments are also coming into action, whether it is US government, EU, European Union, Britain, or other countries. They have also come into action about AI and the safety aspect of it. So, did we arrive at a definition of responsible AI? We went through all the material, we looked at all the data that was available, and then we came up with a definition of responsible AI. As of today, this is the definition that we are talking about. And what it says is that responsible AI is the practice of creating and managing AI systems in an ethical, transparent, and compliant way, focusing on human values, fairness, safety, and accountability. That's the definition that we are giving today. Possibility of it getting modified in future? Probably yes, based on what becomes available, because things are changing really fast. Here's a quote from Anna where she says that this technology will profoundly transform how we live. There's still time to guide its trajectory, limit abuse, and secure the most broadly beneficial outcomes. And as I said, governments are also taking action, whether it is US government or European Union. 16 countries have come together and they have kind of released guidelines. I was pleasantly surprised to even find out that there is an ISO standard for AI. Oh yes, actually that's what my reaction was when I read about it. But there is an ISO standard for AI, and you can actually get yourself assessed against that standard. So a lot of interesting things are happening, whether it is ethical or social implications, economic and employment impact, national security, privacy, accountability, transparency, all these areas. So we did a survey with transformation leaders, CXOs, change leaders, and safe professionals. And we asked them questions about AI and its adoption. Safe customers see AI risks as a barrier to adoption, as the title of the slide says. And if you look at the top 2 risks listed by these 3 groups, if we are talking about transformation leaders and CXOs, compliance issue and potential for misuse are the top 2 risks. With change leaders, again, compliance is the number 1, and ethical and moral concerns is number 2. With safe professionals, compliance is, again, 48% have said that that's the topmost risk, and IP protection is the second one. So different groups, they have identified different areas as risk or barrier to adoption. However, compliance issues remains number 1 for all 3 groups, and we need to address that. Solutions that do what they are designed to do, reliably, securely, and without exposing confidential data. And trustworthy AI has got various attributes like privacy, security, resilience, reliability, and accuracy. So that's the first part, first aspect, trustworthy AI. The next aspect is explainable AI. As AI solutions that provide transparency and documentation that allows humans to understand how their outputs are formulated. I am working with a company from aerospace right now, and I have had to do a presentation for them, and I was Googling about the CO2 emission from an aeroplane. I put a question on Google. The first responses that I got, all AI enabled. They gave me a source for all the, from where they had kind of got that information. So AI solutions that provide transparency and documentation that allows humans to understand how their outputs are formulated. Since I had the source, if at all I wanted to know more about the answer that I got from Google, I could click on that link, I could go into more details and find out. Initially that was not possible, or a couple of years back that was not possible. So there is a transparency which provides clear documented understanding of how AI systems operate and make decisions. Interpretability, making AI decision making and analysis understandable to humans. This is the most important part, how they have done it. And then accountability. The third part is human-centric AI. AI solutions do not harm to humans, property, or the environment, respecting social norms and values. When you are using an AI solution, would you like all these attributes to be a part of that AI solution? And the answer would be like, definitely yes. All of us would say that, right? When you are building an AI, what happened with OpenAI? Read the story, by the way. It's an interesting story. I'm not going to spend more time on that one, but why the CEO got fired. So safety, fairness, ethics, inclusiveness, sustainability, and compliance. Human-centric, then explainable and trustworthy. Now comes the most interesting part. How is it that we have incorporated these guidance into the framework? SAFE framework, the current big picture that we have. So let's look at that. And there are various areas that are highlighted here. We are talking about roles and improving the productivity or increasing the productivity of these roles. I'm talking about lean portfolio management. I'm talking about strategic themes. I'm talking about APIX enablers. I'm talking about continuous delivery pipeline, built-in quality practices, backlogs, architectural runway, DevOps. These are the areas where AI-related guidance is already incorporated. Question is, how do we do that? How do we go about it, right? Let's begin with the first one, building RAI on the foundation of SAFE. What is the foundation of SAFE? Anybody? The answer is in front of you. If at all, quickly if you can give that answer. What is the foundation of SAFE? Say it again. Mindset. Yes, thank you. Well said. So we are talking about mindset, we are talking about culture, right? We are talking about that growth mindset. Those of you who are SAFE certified know the picture, right? When we talk about fixed mindset versus growth mindset. So leadership having that growth mindset, leadership which is committed to creating a generative culture within the organization. That's the foundational requirement when we are implementing or when we are moving towards building RAI in, within the enterprise. So responsible AI is going to get closely aligned with mindset, values, and principles of SAFE, and we will see that on the subsequent slide. RAI is never finished, remember that. It requires insatiable learning, relentless improvement, and a commitment for innovation. So if you look at, or if you recall the attributes, trustworthy, explainable, human-centric, when we talk about trustworthy, it directly gets aligned with two core values of SAFE, alignment and transparency. When we talk about human-centric AI, it is getting aligned directly with respect for people. So at that level, we have started, having that alignment with what we already have in the framework and what's the new guidance that is coming up. Even from SAFE principles perspective, principle number 2, 3, 4, 6, 9, 10 have already started referencing to AI, right? So it all starts at the executive level. Either the CEO or anybody from that group, C-level executive, often lead the development of RAI policies. They have to make a decision at the enterprise level that we want to use AI in whichever format. Now, once a decision is made at that level, Board of directors may have a dedicated committee overseeing AI governance. That's where the efforts start. Now, on the safe big picture, if you recall, I'm going back to that picture. Where do you see that guidance must have got updated? Sorry? LPM is one answer, yes, absolutely. And strategic themes. That's the next answer, second answer, right? So, this is where the efforts are starting within the organization right now. And that guidance is also available. If you see, there is something here. I do not know how many of you have read articles under this area. Not working. Okay. Below agile teams, product owner and scrum master, I'm talking about this part, there is a mention of business and technology. Do you see that? Right? That's where there is an article which talks about this board of directors and an executive committee coming together and start working towards developing policies at the organization level. That's where those efforts start. But it's not just the executive leadership and their commitment. We need to have specialized responsible AI teams or committee wherein they will take it forward. Whatever the board decides, they will take it forward. And the most important part that they are going to do is they are going to consult external, in most of the cases, legal experts, because no company wants to get into a situation where they want to kind of pay damages to their customers. And that needs to be incorporated in the policies at the organization level. So first, the policies would be established at the organization level. Guidance is available, how it is happening. And that those policies could be anywhere in these areas like RAI policy and guidelines, AI playbook, AI consultancy and resolution board. We can have RAI metrics, RAI independent audit, enterprise strategies for implementing RAI, and enterprise RAI training and change management. We will look at the last 2 points in more detail. Rather, I would say responsible AI metrics, enterprise strategies, and training and change management, all of it. We briefly talked about training and change management on the previous slide when we talked about AI augmented workforce. So we have the policy, we have the guidelines, we have the playbook, it's been established at the organization level. What's the next step? If we have implemented SAFe and we have all the configurations like essential SAFe, large solution SAFe, portfolio SAFe, you would know that once we have the policies and guidelines at the enterprise level, those act as an input for, there are 2 outputs here. Which are the 2 outputs? Strategic themes and value stream budgets. So these enterprise RAI policy guidelines and enterprise RAI strategies are going to act as an input for strategic themes. And these strategic themes are going to be related with RAI, responsible AI. So we come up with, or we identify the strategic themes with respect to responsible AI. That's the next step. Once we have identified the strategic themes, how do we implement these strategic themes? What is the next step that we do? That's not the next step. What is the next step that we do once we have the strategic themes? How do we implement strategic themes? Come on, SPCs. Sorry? Value streams? What do we, somebody answered the question. We identify epics that will help us implement those strategic themes. Now, when we are going to introduce or implement RAI, do we need business epics or do we need enabler epics? Both. More importance would be given initially to what? Enabler epics, correct. So that would be the next step. You identify your enabler epics that will help you implement or extend your architectural runway, and by extending architectural runway, then business epics can be implemented. With me so far? Once the epics have been identified, then the next thing that you identify is non-functional requirements. And I want you to give me at least one example of a non-functional requirement with respect to AI. I have deliberately not put those slides. I have the slides, but I have not put it here because that way when we have the conversation, we can remember it. Any non-functional requirement with respect to AI, what it could be? No? Hallucination, absolutely, that's one. And we have it, documented, coded there as a guidance available, absolutely. Any other non-functional requirement? Non-fictitious data, yes. What else? That's also there. Data privacy, absolutely. So these are non-functional requirements that you document, right? Then the next thing that you do is this slide, what we are talking about or what you see here on the screen. You need agile release trains to have that skill set. Either the existing team members, you train them on AI skill set, or you hire new people with those skill sets. And when it comes to responsible AI, one of the previous slide talked about the skill sets. Which skill sets are required? Different ops that I talked about. ML ops, data ops, and all of that, right? So those skill sets, people having those skill sets become part of your agile release train. I'm saying they become part of your agile release train. That means they can be part of, they can join each of the agile teams, or you can have an enabling team in the form of AI skill set as part of your agile release train. Then you need to decide what are the metrics that you need to capture with respect to RAI. Where do we start? We start with objectives and key results. With RAI implementation, which key results that you would like to see? What is the objective that you want to achieve, and what are the key results with respect to that objective that you want to see? Gets covered as part of OKR guidance. All of us are familiar with OKR guidance on the SAFe framework. So this part gets covered as part of OKR guidance. Then the next thing that we are talking about is RAI automation. Since we have implemented those enablers and extended our architectural runway to enable AI adoption and AI implementation within the enterprise, existing DevOps practices will continue to have. In addition to that, we are taking help of AI, and our focus is on delivering value faster to the customer and how we can achieve more gains out of it. So automation practices, they are introduced as part of your continuous delivery pipeline. That's the additional guidance that we have. Then the next area, enablers we already talked about. Non-functional requirements we already talked about. RAI built-in quality practices. On SAFe, with SAFe 6.0, we kind of revisited built-in quality practices guidance, and we re-released that guidance. We kind of consolidated common built-in quality practices, and then we also came up with domain-specific quality practices. Those of you who have done your SPC in the recent past, or those who have seen that diagram, we are introducing built-in quality practices with respect to AI as part of that article. So that guidance is also becoming available now in near future. So that's the direction in which SAFe as a framework is moving. And last but most important part, probably I do not have it on the slide. Oh, I do have. RAI solution development with suppliers. You want your suppliers to be compliant to these policies that your organization is coming up with. 99% of the organizations in the world today are using AI tools as is, buying it from suppliers. And you want to make sure that your safety, your privacy, your data is not compromised when you are using these third-party tools. With me so far? Right? Then they are compliant to the regulations. Whatever tools that you are buying, they are compliant to the regulations, whether it is EU, US, or any other part of the world. And accordingly, you are modifying your contracts with your suppliers. If your suppliers are part of your agile release train and helping you build a solution which also has AI as a component of it, you are making sure that their employees are also following the rules and regulations set by your organization. So the contracts with the suppliers are also changing. And that guidance is not yet codified, I would say, but that's the next step where the framework is moving, right? So these are the various areas where SAFE has, either codified the guidance or that's the direction in which they are moving. Is that an end in itself? Answer is no. As we gain more insights and more, as we gain more knowledge, many other areas of the framework would also get impacted, and you will see that new guidance coming up. I mean, if I look back to, March 2023, the first article that was released on, on the framework site about AI, you don't find it today. There's just a link to that article. Already probably third or fourth article has taken, has replaced those earlier articles. And we are coming up with new guidance almost like every month right now with respect to AI. I would encourage you to, if you are a Safe Studio member, go to Safe Studio, find out about the webinar series that we have conducted about SAFE and AI, and gain more insights into this area. What I've just, I've given you a brief overview of it. There are 3 webinars which are already done. 4th webinar is happening in, first or second week of December. Interesting one wherein we are going to do a hands-on about use of or usage of AI tools. So if you are interested and want to know more about that, a couple of framework team members are going to do that webinar. I encourage you to join that webinar and know more about it, right? So this is where I would like to stop. If there are, he didn't even allow me to say if there are any questions. Even before that, his hand was up. Go ahead. If you register for it, then you can listen to the recording of it. So recordings are available. Just register for it. Does it answer your question? It's available. It's available. I haven't checked it yet. For me, it's available because I'm part of Scaled Agile. Whether it's available to every SPC or not, that's something that I have not checked, but I can check and I can get back to you on that one. Good point. Yeah. Yes, please. Thank you for that question, and I did not cover it here. RAI governance is, guidance related to RAI governance is getting updated as part of the 3rd dimension of lean portfolio management competency. And the 3rd dimension of lean portfolio management competency is lean governance. So as part of lean governance, RAI governance practices are getting updated there.
Just check the last diagrams, right? I can see that by 2025, AI is going to add a lot of jobs like AI curator, AI bias engineer, and all these things. Now, where do this all new roles are going to fit in SAFE?
We are not working in that direction right now. Like whether are we going to introduce new roles into SAFE right now. So right now the guidance is limited to existing SAFE roles and kind of enabling them with AI skill sets. Whether to introduce new roles in SAFE, I would say I will hold on to answer to the answer to that question right now. As we move into 2025, 2026, and more information is available. Today, though, the article says that AI is going to be a competency, but it's not yet released as a competency. Which existing competency gets merged within the framework, AI comes as a new competency or any other competency, and then how do we kind of incorporate all of that as part of an agile release train or value streams? That's something that I would say I would hold on to that part today with respect to roles as well, what you're talking about. How those roles are going to be part of the overall structure, probably couple of years or 12 to 18 months.
Sure. One last question. Amit, this is what that is ringing in my mind, because when we started learning about Agile in 2011, right, they all talked about Agile is a mindset. So when we talk about Agile mindset, there is an human emotions which are contributed to it. Till now, we were talking about voice of business, ROI, investments, improvement, quality. But do we have any real human metric that captures and improves? Because Andy Emerson's psychological safety talks about inclusion, equity, growth index, and all this, right? Is SAFE looking into those aspects?
Honest answer is, I do not know right now.
Okay.
That's
Thanks
my
a lot.
honest answer. Probably you will have to ask that question. I mean, I will have to go back and ask that question to one of the framework team members.
Okay.
I have come across a couple of slides, but they are not published yet. So even if whatever I know, I wouldn't speak about it honestly.
Sure.
I can find out. We can get connected on LinkedIn, and then you can share the same question with me, and I can get back to you on that one.
Thanks a lot, Amit.
Right. Thank you. Yes. Multiple questions actually, sorry. I have 57 seconds left, by the way.
I'll quickly ask. So actually we are setting that ML Ops team now for our Agile release train. And you did mention that we can do it in two ways. Like I can put it in every product team or I can have it as an enabler team, right? So while to me, it looks like we should have ML Ops team only as enabler, right? Like having it in every team will kind of just add to the chaos.
That's up to you. That's up to you right now. And the maturity of SAFE implementation. It is available in the form, so what I said is available as a guidance. Okay. Implementation is something that you will have to decide based on your current scenario. Yeah. I understand where you are coming from, so absolutely agree with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fine, then I'm okay.
Yeah, okay. Here are 2 questions, 3 questions, okay, one at a time. Where do we start? You raise your hand first, sir, so go ahead. Yeah, you.
So, sir, my name is Shruti, and my question to you is, while IT industry is very much used to agile practices, and SAFE is not a new word for any IT industries, but there are non-IT industries who do not know, first of all, agile. Now they are being thrown into AI agile, and on top of it, responsible AI we are talking about. So how are we tackling this? Because first of all, they don't know agile. Then we are talking now about, we have jumped into responsible AI transformation along with agility. So how are we tackling with that? So
from SAFE perspective, if I have to give an answer to that question, we have already released new guidance about SAFE for non-IT enterprises, which is available. We are calling it as SAFE for hardware. Some say, why are you calling it SAFE for hardware? Why call it SAFE for manufacturing, or even call it as SAFE for non-IT. But a new guidance is already available. It is getting piloted right now. It's in probably beta test, I would say. But most of the SPCs, or no, not most of the, some of the SPCs have already got access to this new material, and then in future, AI related, RAI related guidance and this new guidance would be merged and would be made available to the larger industry. That's the direction in which we will be going. Does it answer your question? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, hi. My question is about, I think in the last slide that you mentioned about the metrics, RAI metrics. So do you, yes. So would you mind to give us some more insights about what would be those metrics?
I can share those offline, but okay. I mean, I'm not supposed to bring it on the slide, but I can share that. Yes, I have it and I can share that.
So there are specific metrics that has been, okay.
We are, at high level, we are talking about it right now.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
No, that's why that's why I didn't put it on the slide. Let us 15 days. By 15th of December, it would be available. Right. That's why, I mean, I don't want to kind of, some of the secrets, right? What's going to come next? There's one more question.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Archana. Yeah. So my question is related to product management. Any guidance related to how with AI we can solve customer problems or understand their expectation, right? Currently, there are guidances on design thinking and few on the SAFE, right? Which was really helpful. Now, how we can make it much better from SAFE perspective?
Again, another area I have not included in my presentation, but being developed right now. And Couple of framework team members are more authorized, or rather, they have authority to talk about it. So that's the reason I didn't kind of include it in my presentation. But customer centricity and design thinking articles are also getting updated, and the usage of AI tools to kind of, understand your customer in a better way. That part is, they're taking that into consideration as well.
Okay, good to know. Thank you.
Not only that, so right now the focus is on improving the productivity of product owners. Using AI tools, how product owners can improve their productivity. That's something that we are focusing on. And we have already done a webinar or special session on that one, like how Scrum Masters can use AI to improve their performance and productivity, how product owners can do that, how release train engineers can use AI tools and all of that. And the next step to that is customer centricity and design thinking, and how we can go in that direction, right? Thank you. Yes, sir. Okay, how small? The articles are getting updated. There are a lot of changes that are happening. No. Not 7.0. The existing articles are getting updated right now. And if at all the changes or whatever updates that we are introducing, probably like 5.1, we will come up with, say, 6.1 probably. But there is no indication of that sort of, anything as of today. So 6.0.